Hello everyone, welcome to AK Academy. Uh, before we start the formal teaching of quantum mechanics, I would like to give you a mathematical background which will be very much necessary to understand the mathematics of quantum mechanics. Okay, so for that reason, one concept is extremely necessary, which is the delta function. Okay, so today we'll learn something about the delta function and all its properties. Okay, mind you, I will not go into the detailed derivations of the various properties or the problems. Okay, I'll just use the definition and I'll tell you how to solve actually the problems, how to use the properties of delta function. Okay, if you're really interested in the derivations, okay, I have given the references, you can just go and check. Okay, but mostly I'll cover what is the meaning of delta function, what it physically means. Okay, the physical significance, why do we need it. Okay, all these things I'll cover in this lecture. Okay, so let's start. So delta function is defined through this equation. Okay, this is delta x minus a, which means at x equal to a, delta function is defined as this. So at x equal to a, it is as x not equal to a, it is 0. Okay, but within a small limit, alpha and beta are positive. Okay, within this limit, okay, the delta function integration over this delta function is 1. Okay, which means that delta function, the area under this curve, okay, is 1. Okay, and this is another property of delta function. If we integrate a function multiplied by delta function, okay, so in that case, this is essentially, this is a very small region. Okay, so alpha minus a minus alpha and a plus beta, this is a very small region. So in that small region we can think of this function as essentially uh, constant. So it can, we can safely take it out of this integral, and if we integrate this simply becomes f of a. Okay, so what is the definition of delta function? It is infinite at x equal to a, but its value is 0 for x not equal to a, and integration and area under the curve, okay, and the integration of delta function is basically 1. Okay, so the next definition. Okay, see that delta function is not any function per se. Okay, if I mean any function, some particular functions under some special circumstances can behave like delta function. Okay, delta function, if I have to say what is a delta function, I would say it's a distribution. Okay, so many functions depending upon the situations, okay, will behave like a delta function. It will satisfy the properties of delta function. Okay, one of that so we can represent delta function in many different ways. One of that representation is this square rectangle function. Okay, here it is defined as r sigma x is 1 over 2 sigma for minus sigma less than x minus a less than sigma, and otherwise it is 0. So if we plot this, so this is essentially a constant. Okay, so if we plot this is just a straight line. Okay, which is uh, which lies in a particular region around some point. Okay, now if we this is sigma equals to zero point 0.4. Now if we squeeze the sigma, if we decrease the value of sigma, this total curve is, the height of this curve increases, because okay, this height of this curve increases, and if we again squeeze the sigma, the height of the curve again rises. Okay, so we can infer that as if delta tends, sigma tends to 0, this, the value of this curve, value of this function, okay, will be infinite, and it is evident from here. If sigma is tends to 0, then it is essentially infinity. Okay, now we have to see that this function satisfies the properties of delta function. Okay, so this is our function, this is the definition. Okay, now let's see the area under this is 1 or not. Okay, so for that we just integrating out this from we are just taking the limit minus infinity to plus infinity. It doesn't matter, you can take any limit, because ultimately within this limit a minus sigma and a plus sigma, this function will exist. Okay, so within this limit, this is a constant, so it is just out of this integral, and if we do this we'll get 1. Okay, so we can say that delta x when sigma tends to 0, this rectangle function behaves as a delta function. Okay, now let's find out if it satisfies the other property, that that f of x multiplied by r sigma x dx minus infinity to plus infinity. So again 1 over 2 sigma is out of the integral a minus sigma to a plus sigma f of x dx. Okay, now let's see that if sigma tends to 0, I said that this function will be a spike, will be like a spike. So we can say that at this point within this small region, okay, a minus sigma and a plus sigma, within this small region the value of this function is essentially constant. Okay, and at this point we can say that the value of the function is f of t0 here in this picture, but here the point is a, so we can say that at that point the value of the function is f of a. Okay, now if we integrate from a minus sigma to a plus sigma divided by 1 over 2, if we do this integration we'll get f of a. Okay, so it satisfies the properties of delta function. Okay, so it is a delta function. Next very important representation of delta function is by a Gaussian function. Okay, this Gaussian function is defined as 1 by sigma root over 2 pi exponential minus x minus a squared over 2 sigma squared. Okay, and sigma is always greater than 0. If you plot this Gaussian delta function, okay, so as we can see, if we reduce the value of sigma, it becomes more and more spike in nature. Okay, so if sigma tends to 0, this will be a spike. Okay, so we can again see that if this satisfies the properties of delta function or not. For that we have to see that area under this function from minus infinity to plus infinity, because here there is no limit, so we will take minus infinity to plus infinity. The area under this curve will be 1. Okay, and so let's see that. Acha, for that we have to find out this integral. Okay, if we integrate this out for minus infinity to plus infinity, we'll need a formula. So this is the formula, this is a standard formula, this is a standard integral. These are very standard integrals in physics. Okay, minus infinity to plus infinity, e to the power minus alpha x squared plus beta x dx. Okay, whose result is root over pi by a exponential beta squared over 4 alpha. If we use this formula here, you can within just few steps you can see that this integral is equal to 1. So area under this curve is equal to 1. Okay, so at sigma tends to 0, it behaves like a delta function. Okay, so it is a delta function when sigma tends to 0. In this limit sigma tends to 0. Okay, this is another very important derivative of a step function. Okay, this is defined as a step function, which is also called Heaviside step function, which is defined as 0 when x less than a and 1 when x greater than a. Okay, so at a particular value it has a constant value, and before that it is simply 0. Okay, we'll prove that the derivative of this step function is essentially a delta function. Okay, so for that we'll just use this, because you can see that area under this curve will be anyway 1, and if you see that this integral, that function multiplied by this this function delta x of hx, so if we just partially integrate, okay, so see that this is if we partially integrate this is the step where we will get. Okay, so here a minus alpha, so this is if x is less than a, this is 0, and if x is greater than a, then this is 1. So this, in the lower limit this function will be 0, and the upper limit this will be 1. So at the upper limit this will be f of a plus b. Okay, now in this case we'll have to just make a transformation, or I mean this is very straightforward step. You have to just make a change of variable, and this is it. So if we do this integral, this is f prime of x, so its integral would be f of alpha plus beta and f minus f of a. Okay, so these two things cancel out and f of a survives. Okay, so as we can see that the derivative of a step function is behaves as a delta function. Now some properties of delta function. Okay, delta of minus x is essentially delta x. Okay, and delta of x minus a is equal to delta of a minus x. Both are same. Okay, but the derivative of first derivative of delta minus x is equal to minus delta x. Okay, similarly delta prime of x minus a is minus delta a minus x. Okay, third property is delta of ax is 1 over modulus of a delta x. A is not equal to 0. Delta of x minus a multiplied by x minus b is 1 by a minus b delta x minus a plus delta x minus b, where a is not equal to b. Okay, and similarly delta of f of x, okay, which is delta summation over I delta x minus xi a prime xi, where xi can be found by equating this function equal to 0. Okay, the roots of this function, and a prime I is not equal to 0 at these points. Okay, where these are the roots of this function. So this is the properties of delta function. These are the properties. Okay, now we'll see some solved examples and see how delta function works. Okay, here the integration is 0 to 3 5x minus 2 delta 2 minus x dx. Okay, so we can write delta 2 minus x as x minus 2, both are same. Okay, so delta at x equal to 2 gives infinite value, but at other points it is essentially 0. So this is nothing but we have to just put this 2 here, and this is the answer, right? Okay, second problem, 0 to infinity phi of x delta x square minus a squared dx. Okay, so x square minus a squared is x minus a into x plus a into x minus a. If we use the properties of delta function, we'll find that 1 over 2a x plus a plus delta x minus a. Okay, now simply we can integrate this out. Okay, now see that this is non-zero at x equal to minus a. Okay, but this is the limit from 0 to infinity, so this is 0. Okay, but this is non-zero at x equal to a, and this is within the limit, so it will be just phi of a. Okay, and 2a was there. Second problem is minus 1 to plus 1 cos x delta of minus 2x is this. So delta of minus x is this, as usual. Okay, and delta of ax is 1 over a delta x. Okay, this means that delta function will give a non-zero value at x equal to 0. Okay, so we just have to put x equal to 0 here because this is within the limit, and we'll get 1. Okay, this problem minus pi to plus pi cos x delta sin x. Okay, so minus pi to pi plus pi, this is our limit, so we have to put put this function equal to 0 and find its roots. So this is x equal to n pi, n equal to 0 plus minus 1. Okay, now see that if you put 1 or plus minus 1, this is out of this limit, so we won't bother about those points. So the only value matters to us is at x equal to 0. Okay, now the next step is do the derivative of sine function, which is cosine function, and cosine function value at x equal to 0 is 1. Okay, now we'll use this formula. Okay, and we'll find that this is nothing but cos x delta x dx, and which is essentially 1. Okay, so thank you. This is for today.